Hey YouTube, I am coming on to show you tonight's Sunday dinner. We are going to be having a lemon garlic herb roasted spatchcock chicken. We're going to have on the side au gratin potatoes and asparagus. So I'm going to show you everything you're going to need. And then what I'm going to do after I show you, I'm going to get these potatoes on to boil because they're already sliced. So I already sliced my potatoes prior to starting the video just so it would save me time. So it just circles. Alright, so I'm going to get this into the water. Okay, so my potatoes are on. They'll start boiling shortly. Okay. Don't mind the dishes in the back. We're having some issues with the water pressure in our sink. I don't know what's going on, but the water pressure throughout the house is fine except the kitchen sink. So yeah, so I have to like wait a long time for the sink to fill and all that nonsense. And yes, I do use the dishwasher, but yeah. So anyways, and then I have here my chicken. I've already took out the spine, and I will in a few minutes get ready to start dressing the chicken and get it in the oven. For my chicken, I'm gonna need some of this butter just to put on the skin. Well, actually, I'll probably be using the whole stick to put under the skin and on top of the skin. I'm going to need lemon, sage, thyme, and I'm gonna get closer. Clove of garlic. Or a whole bulb, I should say, of garlic. So let me get closer to show you. Let's see, sage and thyme. Oh, my kids have their cups right here. Garlic, and of course, you saw the lemon and a stick of butter. Okay, there's that. For the au gratin potatoes, I will be using I will be melting a stick of butter. I know you're gonna say butter is not good for you. I know it's not. This is real butter. It's not margarine, but still, it's me. This is how I like things. Stick of butter, and I'm using the, I don't know if you can see it very well, Danish Creamery European butter, non-salted. I am using Cracker Barrel sharp yellow cheese. Hope you can see that pretty good. Okay, and I'm using Cracker Barrel's Vermont sharp white cheese. And then for seasoning, so like to season the outside of the chicken, I'm just using some salt and some pepper. And then when I do the au gratin potatoes, I'm using that. And then, of course, paprika. Get it to focus. Onion powder. Garlic powder. And then I'll be putting in about, it's not out yet, but I will be putting in about a cup of milk and about a half a cup of sour cream, and yeah, that's it for that. And then on the side, about halfway through, I'm not going to show you this part just because I don't want the video to be very long. Halfway through the cooking process, I had in the freezer some prepped asparagus for this particular meal. So I will be, once the chicken is halfway cooked, I will then be putting that around the chicken on the sheet pan to complete its cooking, so that the chicken can complete its cooking process, but the asparagus can roast also in the juices. So let me get going with this chicken. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my lemon. I'm going to cut the ends off, and then I'm going to just quarter it. Because this is going to go in the cavity underneath the chicken. And then I'm going to cut the top part of the garlic bulb off my garlic. And I'm gonna actually move you guys closer because you seem so far away. So there we go. And I'm gonna cut the top part of the garlic off. My potatoes are starting to boil. Okay. And then what I do with my garlic after I do that is I'm going to drizzle the garlic a little bit with some avocado oil. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's that. So right underneath is where this is gonna go, in this little cavity. I'm also going to put in some sage, which my sage is going bad, oh no. So we're gonna find one that's not bad. I had to throw this away after this, because it's going bad. I didn't use it quick enough. And some of this thyme. I'm gonna get some sprigs of thyme. Alright, and I'm gonna set this in the back part of the chicken. Alright, and then I'm gonna take some of these lemons and I'm gonna tuck that in underneath. I'm actually gonna do 3 of them. And then the herbs are there, the garlic is there, and it's gonna sit. I know when you do spatchcock chicken, it's supposed to be flat. Let me see if I can get the chicken breast to like go down. You're supposed to like break the bone or something. I'm not that good at it. But whatever, I'm not gonna stress it about this. Okay, so we're gonna get this in. We're just gonna set it like that. It'll still cook because I'm gonna put this in a 400-degree oven and I'm gonna cover this with foil. So anyway, so there we go. So there's that. I'm gonna change my gloves real quick and then I'm going to get started with the top part of the chicken. Before I do that, before I actually put on fresh gloves, let me go get them real quick. I'm going to also cut up my butter so then I can put the butter underneath, and I'm going to put some of this thyme underneath the skin, and then I might rub the top down before I put slices of butter on it with the olive oil and salt and pepper. So give me a moment. So let me get this going. All right. And then with the potatoes, I'm going to parboil the potatoes. So what's going to happen is the starch water that's in there, I'm going to leave about a, let's say 3/4 to 1/4, somewhere in there, of that starch water. And I'm going to add milk to it. So the potatoes can continue to boil, and then that's when I'm going to add in the butter and the cheese, the sour cream, and all of that to get it going, because the starch is going to help thicken up the au gratin potatoes. But if you feel like you need to, add in a little bit of cornstarch water or a little bit of milk with flour mixed in it to thicken it, you can. All right, so let's get this right here cut. And my oven just finished preheating to 400 degrees. All right. So we're just going to slice this. I'm going to slice it so that some of it can go on bottom, some of it can go on top. so it's sliced. So one thing, let me grab some of this, well, I'll grab some of the thyme out in a little bit. I'm going to go in and I'm going to start loosening the skin from the chicken meat itself. That way I can get the butter in the gaps of the between the chicken and the meat and the skin to get the butter in there neatly. So right here where the thigh and the leg is, there's already like a gap. So we're gonna loosen it from, we're gonna loosen this, oh crap. We're gonna loosen this from the breast. I hope you guys can see this, what I'm doing. My lights in here are like super bright. So right here, this chicken breast, the skin is already loosened. So now I'm gonna just do this chicken breast, and you're gonna do it all the way down. And then you're gonna come on the other side and you're gonna check the same thing. You're gonna wanna loosen that, just so that all the flavor can get in. And then over here, the same thing. Loosen that skin, which it's pretty loose over here. The wings I'm not gonna worry about too much, but I will be tucking in the wing tips. All right. So now we're gonna take pats of butter and we're gonna put it in those loose openings. So like right here, all in right here. And it just helps get some of that nice flavor into the chicken, meat. And then I also will be, like I said before, I'll be putting in sprigs of thyme in here. Okay, so. Alright. I'm going to put this in. I'm gonna put it in over here. Alright, nice. Okay, now let me get some on this side. Let me just set it just like that, and then I'm gonna just, where the wings are, I'm gonna just place a pat of butter there. And it's okay if you don't have like a whole lot of butter to put on top. It is absolutely fine. Now we're gonna take some of this thyme and we're gonna stick the sprigs of thyme, and we're gonna just stick them under the skin in different spots. It doesn't need to be all over the chicken, just, you know, just enough to give, to permeate through and give that nice flavor. Because I gotta get this used so I don't waste it and it's sitting in the refrigerator all this time. Alright. Alright, so I got some right there. And it might not be like perfect, and that's okay. Nothing in life has to be perfect. Alright, so I'm gonna get this in right here. Put this in over here. Okay, and I'm gonna just float some in between, like right here in the crevice, so I can get this used. And then over here in this crevice, just enough, just to keep it going. All right, so that's that. I'm gonna get this picked up right here real quick. And then I gotta wash the counter, so I'm gonna take off one glove. This is what I do when I'm doing like food, like chicken. So I'm gonna throw this part away real quick, and then I'm gonna use the hand that doesn't have a glove to handle the oil and the lemon, and then I will throw on the last pats of butter with the hand that's been handling chicken. All right, so we're just gonna drizzle this chicken skin with some olive oil. And you're probably like, Sherelle, why do you need that if you're using butter, but I just, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna just throw on our pats of skin. I mean, our pats of skin. Our pats of butter, I'm just gonna throw them in like a couple of spots. I have the butter right here. And yeah, so there's that. Now I'm gonna get rid of this other one. Alright, and then we're gonna just squeeze this lemon right on top and get this in the oven, cover it with foil. Get this in the oven. Alright, and I'm gonna just put the wedge there. Oh, my skin is burning. Alright. And we're gonna slide, yeah, there we go. We're gonna slide that. Let me wash my hands real quick because I just touched the chicken. I'm gonna cover this with, oh, I need to put salt and pepper on here too. But I will be getting this covered with foil, so just give me a moment. Let me get this with some salt and pepper real quick. The reason why I'm generously salting it is because for some reason when you cook chicken, it doesn't always hold the flavor of the seasoning. So yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you on this side of the stove to show you guys what this chicken looks like. All right. So, oh, I hope you can see that pretty good. Let me turn this light off. So here's my chicken. This is the chicken in all its glory. Butter, thyme, sage underneath, salt, pepper, olive oil. All right. So now I'm gonna get this covered into the oven. Let me put you guys on this side now because I got to show you how to make the Au Gratin potatoes. Can you please go watch TV? Please go watch TV. No more movies. Let him have something now. Hey, Lonnie, stop. Get this covered real quick, and I'll get this in the oven, and then we will get started on the Au Gratin potatoes. Excuse me. Okay, so let's get this in the oven. Alright, let me turn this light on. So now, I know you guys are probably wondering, Sherelle, why do you not let your kids be in the kitchen with you when you're cooking? Well, history has served. When my kids are with me in the kitchen, I get distracted and I miss things, and then something gets messed up. So I prefer to cook by myself or even bake by myself, just so that I can make sure I'm not missing any steps. So if you're wondering why I had to go back and watch TV and just relax, that's why. Just because I can get distracted and mess something up, and I'm not trying to do that, especially if I'm showing you guys a recipe. Alright, so now I'm going to turn down the pot of potatoes. They're pretty much done. I'm going to put this down on medium because I will be adding in a little bit, once I dump some of this water out, the stick of butter, and I will be adding in some milk and some sour cream. So let me get a spoon and we will get started on that. Here's a slotted spoon. Makes it a little easier. So let me dump some of this water out real quick. Okay, so some of the water is still in here, which you will need. The potatoes are almost done all the way, so now I need to put in some butter. We're going to use the whole stick of butter. So one stick, just like that, into the pot. And for now, I'm going to just leave this here because I got to get ready to shred cheese also. And then we're going to add in milk and sour cream. Now you're able to use half and half. You're able to use heavy whipping. Right now I'm using what I have on hand, which is just some 2% milk. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to throw in some sour cream. And we're going to just use the rest of this container because we have one that's unopened. What's wrong, buddy? Mom? Yes, son. And I'm going to just set that here. And just throw this here. So whatever trash I'm collecting from the Au Gratin potatoes, it'll just be right there. Okay, now I'm going to add in my milk. And I'm going to just stir this around. The butter is melting. And yeah, so we're going to get this stirred in, and then I'm going to add in my salt and pepper and garlic and all of that, so it's in here. My potatoes are pretty much done. So we're going to let that sit here for a moment. I'm trying not to stir it too much because my potatoes are breaking and I need to actually just shut this off. Okay, so we're going to put in some pepper. Salt. And onion powder. Garlic. And paprika. Okay. And then we're going to gently stir this in and fold it. Because you don't want your potatoes to break. As there are a lot of them. When I cut them, they're kind of hard to cut and they came out a little bit thin, which is fine. Okay, so the seasoning's stirred in, the butter is almost done melting. Now for the fun part. We're about to shred some cheese and get it put into the pot. So let me get my cheese grater real quick, and then we'll get the cheese, shredded cheese, into the pot. Good old cheese grater. My youngest is in here doing I don't know what, and all my kids are now in the kitchen. So.
What did the garlic powder?
Because I just put garlic powder in the food. Oh my God, it's always so hard to get into. I'm not making mashed potatoes. Au Gratin potatoes. Those are Au Gratin potatoes.
Au Gratin potato.
Yes, Au Gratin potatoes. Okay, no, stop. I am recording, so you guys need to be relaxed. I know you're excited about dinner.
Or you're gonna restart it right now?
No, I'm just gonna keep going because I'm already almost done and I can't go back and restart. All right, everybody. No, yeah, it does suck because I can't go back and restart. So I'm shredding right now my Cracker Barrel white Vermont sharp cheddar, or Vermont sharp white cheddar, something like that. So I'm I am shredding that right now. And then I'm gonna get the other one shredded and put it. Okay, so there's one shredded. Alright. Okay, why is this one? Alright. Okay, so let's get this one put in. Josiah, please stop. Thank you, buddy. Okay, there's that one.
Wow.
And two, if you wanted to, you could put an egg in there. I don't like mine with egg mixed in. Just helps bind it a little more. It's more for when you put it in the oven, but even putting it in the oven, I still don't do that just because it's not my preference. So I thought I'd throw that out there for those of you that are like, you gotta put an egg. You don't always have to. You cook how you want to cook. Cooking is an art, not a science. I mean, it is a little bit of a science depending on what you're making, but for me, it's more of an art, and I cook to enjoy food, and for my family to enjoy food. So yeah, okay, I didn't do anything good. All right, so now I'm shredding the other block of cheese. Accidentally got my finger on the grater, but I'm not bleeding. I didn't get it hard enough. Almost done grating this, and then I'm gonna turn you guys back towards the pot. I didn't want you guys just staring at the pot and you're like, okay, Cheryl, what are you doing? Okay, so now the other one is shredded, and I am about to get this put into the pot so we can start getting it mixed in. I'm done with the cheese grater. Let me add this cheese in real quick. And then once I'm done showing you guys the au gratin potatoes, I'm going to end the video there, just because I don't want you guys waiting forever for me to show you the chicken. Just because you guys already know chicken takes a while to cook. Alright, so back at the pot. So now I'm going to just gently mix in the cheese without messing up the potatoes. Please, son, no. No, thank you. I don't need that one today. Keep getting this mixed in. You know what? I could probably turn this into cheesy mashed potatoes, but I wanted it to be au gratin potatoes. So you might need to add in a little bit of cornstarch water mix just to thicken this. I think I put too much liquid, but it's okay. The cheese is melting in. Yeah, I think I'm going to add in a little cornstarch just to tighten it up just a little bit more. The cheese is already making it thick, but au gratin potatoes are supposed to be nice and creamy, and like when you get it, it's not supposed to be runny. And I think I put too much liquid, but it's okay. I can fix that. Alright, so all my cheese is mixed in. I'm going to go grab the cornstarch real quick and I am going to add a little bit of cornstarch water in here to tighten it. And then I'm going to just let it sit by itself, not messing with it. Once you've completed it, you've seasoned it, you got the cheese in and everything, do not stir it anymore. Like, let it be on the stove. And then it'll be ready completely 100% when you're ready to serve. So let me just mix in some cornstarch in here real quick, and I will be right back. Guys, I am still recording. Please stop. Nene, let her play with the toy. Well, you shouldn't have brought it into the kitchen. This. Spoon. Just gonna spoon a little bit of cornstarch in here. And just to make it easier when you're making au gratin potatoes, you can also make a roux, either using butter and flour, or using just butter. What you would do, just flour. So what you would do is get a pan and put a little bit of flour in the bottom, and you have to watch it. Do it on like medium heat, and you constantly stir your flour. You're pretty much cooking out that raw taste out of the flour. And then when it's a nice light brown color, then it's done. You take it off the stove, you turn off the heat, and then you start making your sauce or whatever it is you're going to do. It's really simple to make a roux for almost anything. Bechamel sauce, gumbo, gravy, macaroni and cheese, potatoes, or au gratin potatoes, I should say, not just potatoes. But I'm going to just use a little bit of cornstarch just because it's fast and simple. No, thank you, son. Thank you for wanting to help Mama. I don't need that one. My kids are in the kitchen and they all want to help. Alright, so I got that in, and I'm going to just give this a stir to get the cornstarch mixed in. And I'm just going to let this sit here. It's going to finish tightening up, which it's already doing just that. And for now, I'm going to leave you guys here. I might come back on at the chicken's halfway point and do a really quick video to show you guys what the chicken looks like halfway, and me putting the asparagus on the sheet pan around the chicken, and letting you know that it's going to cook without the foil the rest of the way so the chicken can brown. So I might do that. So I will probably see you in another video in a few minutes. It'll be a part 2. It's just easier for me right now to do part 1, part 2 videos if I'm doing things like this, just because I'm still learning how to do editing and things, so they're not really edited, not yet anyways. So please be very patient with me. I know you're probably like, seriously woman, get it together. But anyways, I'm gonna end it here. Let me show you what these potatoes look like really quickly before I do go. My is already tilted. So this is what the pot looks like right now at this moment. And then what I also might do is show you guys the au gratin potatoes once they're finished being together. So yeah.